Gunsmiths use a handful of hidden tricks they rarely mention to customers, because half of them sound too old school to trust until you see what they actually do to a filthy barrel. We're counting down 12 of them, starting from number 12 and working our way to the single most important trick on this entire list. Stick around, because number 1 is the kind of thing that separates a gun that runs forever from a gun that quietly wears itself out. "12. Dry brush before you spray anything." This one sounds too simple to matter, but skipping it probably is the biggest mistake most people make. If you spray solvent directly onto a gun that's caked in heavy carbon, that carbon doesn't dissolve. It turns into a gritty paste that just smears itself deeper into your slide rails and locking lugs. Now, you've got carbon mud packed into spots that were only lightly dirty before you even started. Before you spray a single drop of anything, take a dry brush and knock off all the loose, heavy fouling first. Only after that should solvent come into play. It's a small habit, but it changes everything about how clean your gun actually gets, and it cuts your total cleaning time down more than people expect. 11. Use broken wood, not cotton swabs on the sear. Cotton swabs feel like the obvious tool for cleaning tight spots, like your trigger sear or mainspring. The problem is, they shed. Tiny lint fibers come off and get lodged in there, and over time, that buildup can actually ruin what was once a crisp, clean trigger pull. Instead, grab a wooden skewer or a long swab stick and snap it in half. The splintered wood edge acts like a stiff little brush that scrapes grime out of tight corners without leaving anything behind. It's a 5-second fix that protects one of the most important feeling parts of your entire gun. 10. Build a cheap trap for small parts. If you've ever cleaned a gun with tiny detent pins or springs, you already know the fear. One wrong move, and that little pin bounces off the bench, hits the floor, and disappears like it fell into another dimension. You can spend 20 minutes on your hands and knees looking for a piece of metal smaller than a grain of rice, and sometimes you just never find it. Gunsmiths call these parts concrete soluble, because that's basically what happens to them once they hit the floor. Here's the trick. Take an empty water bottle, cut off the bottom 3 inches, and you've got a dedicated little cup for soaking small parts in solvent. They get properly cleaned, sitting right there in front of you the whole time, and they physically cannot escape and roll under your workbench or down a drain. By the way, if tricks like this are new to you, now's a good time to hit subscribe, because we've got a lot more of these coming up, and trust me, some of the ones ahead are even better. 9. Store it muzzle down after cleaning. Here's one almost nobody thinks about. After you clean and oil your firearm, don't just toss it back in the safe standing straight up or lying flat right away. For the first day or two, store it muzzle down instead. Gravity pulls whatever extra oil is sitting on the barrel downward and out, instead of letting it creep backward into the trigger group where it can gum things up, or seep into a wood stock where it will soften the wood fibers and create what stock makers call punky wood, eventually rotting it from the inside. This one small habit is the reason some old wood stocks look perfect for decades, while others turn soft and discolored near the action after just a few years. 24 to 48 hours muzzle down, then you're safe to store it however you normally do. 8. Pull bore snakes one direction only. Bore snakes feel like a shortcut. Pull it through, you're done, right? Not exactly. These things have little brass bristles woven into them, and once those bristles bite into the rifling, pulling the snake back out the way it came can ruin the snake by folding the bristles the wrong way. And worse, it drags embedded grit and carbon backward right across the crown of your barrel. And the crown is not something you want damaged, since it's one of the biggest factors in how accurate your gun actually is. Even a tiny nick on that edge can send your shots drifting off in ways you can't explain later at the range. The fix is simple. Always feed it from the breech end and pull it straight through to the muzzle in one smooth motion. Never yank it backward halfway through, and never try to save time by reversing direction to catch a spot you missed. One direction, every single time, no shortcuts. 7. Polish the chamber with flits, not a Dremel. If your semi-auto keeps failing to feed properly, the instinct is to grab a power tool and start grinding. Don't! That's how you accidentally change headspace dimensions and turn a small problem into an expensive one that a gunsmith has to fix. Instead, put a small dab of Flitz metal polish on a cotton bore mop and spin it by hand, only inside the chamber and feed ramp. The mirror polish is the steel, just enough to smooth out feeding issues, with none of the risk that comes from power tools cutting too deep. It's slower than a Dremel, sure, but slower and controlled beats fast and irreversible every time. 6. The tornado brush trick for .357 Magnum revolvers. If you shoot cheaper .38 special rounds through a .357 Magnum revolver, you've probably noticed a stubborn carbon ring building up deep in the chamber over time. Over time, it gets bad enough that loading the longer Magnum rounds becomes a real struggle, sometimes requiring a firm shove just to seat them properly. Normally, a stainless steel looped brush called a tornado brush is considered too aggressive to use on rifling, and most people are told to stay away from it entirely. But inside a revolver's smooth cylinder walls, where there's no rifling to protect, it's actually the perfect tool. It scrubs that ring out fast without damaging anything, and your loading problems disappear right along with it. 5. Swap brass picks for a sharpened wood dowel. Brass picks are the standard tool everyone reaches for, but if you push too hard, they can leave brass transfer marks on steel that look exactly like scratches, and they absolutely can scratch softer aluminum frames or modern Cerakote finishes, and once that finish is scratched, there's no undoing it. Here's a better option. Sharpen a hardwood dowel, or even a bamboo chopstick down to a chisel point. It's still hard enough to scrape off baked-on carbon, but it physically cannot mar or scratch actual gunmetal the way brass can. It's cheap, it's disposable, you can make a fresh one in about 30 seconds, and it protects surfaces that are expensive to repair once they're damaged. 4. Never use lead-away cloths on blued steel. Lead-away cloths are fantastic for one specific job. Wipe one across the face of a stainless revolver cylinder, and it lifts those dark scorch marks off almost instantly. Barely any scrubbing required. But here's the warning gunsmiths give every single time. Never ever use one of these on blued steel. Bluing is technically a controlled layer of oxidation sitting on the surface of the metal, and that chemical cloth will strip it right off in seconds, leaving bare, unprotected steel underneath that can start rusting almost immediately. Save it strictly for stainless, and keep it far away from anything blued. 3. Keep the firing pin channel bone dry. This one causes more mysterious problems than almost anything else on this list. A lot of light primer strikes get blamed on a weak firing pin or a bad striker, when the real issue is oil sitting where it absolutely shouldn't be. Oil in that channel attracts carbon over time, and the two combine into a thick sludge that slows the pin's travel down just enough to cause a misfire that seems random. In tighter tolerances, it can even create something close to a hydraulic lock, stopping the pin from moving the way it needs to at exactly the moment you need it to work. The rule gunsmiths follow is simple. That channel stays 100% bone dry. No exceptions, no matter how tempted you are to add a drop of oil in there for good measure. 2. Use a polymer-safe gun scrubber on polymer frames. When a polymer frame or trigger group is packed with unburned powder and lint, regular solvent often just turns the whole mess into a greasy sludge instead of removing it, and you end up chasing that sludge around with a rag for way longer than you should have to. A short blast of a polymer-safe synthetic gun scrubber blows all of that debris straight out and evaporates completely within seconds, leaving basically zero residue behind. Avoid standard automotive brake cleaners if you can, because even non-chlorinated versions can contain harsh solvents like acetone that will discolor or melt certain polymer frames over time. And one important note, this stuff strips metal parts completely dry, so re-lubricate right after you use it, or you'll be trading one problem for another. 1. The Cano-Croyle Creep Method. And here it is, the trick that experienced bench rest shooters swear by more than any other on this list. When you're dealing with heavy copper or lead fouling, the instinct is to scrub it out with something abrasive, brush after brush, patch after patch, until your arm is tired and the barrel is still stubborn. But a penetrating oil like Cano-Croyle works completely differently. Because of its extreme capillary action, it actually creeps underneath the fouling at a microscopic level, lifting it off the barrel steel from below instead of grinding it away from above. Once it's lifted, that fouling pushes right out with barely any effort at all, and your barrel steel never takes the beating that abrasive scrubbing gives it over months and years of cleaning. It's a difference between fighting the fouling and simply letting it float away on its own. And that's the full list. 12 tricks that most gun owners never hear about until someone shows them directly. If even one of these saves your trigger pull, your barrel, or your sanity next time you're at the bench, hit subscribe to All About Survival so you don't miss what's coming next.